absolutely love this time of year. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Cast Iron Man Cooking Show, the show dedicated to distracting me from my existential burden and screaming at the top of my lungs for help. So let's get going. We are going to need to make some fall spice for this spice. Arrakis. You need to go to Arrakis to get spice. No, you do not need to do that. You need to pumpkin pie spice. You could call it this, but I'm going to call it seasonal spice, or fall fall spice mix. Mix it all together. You will have enough for the entire autumn season and fall season because it's so typically short. We got acorns, squashes, squash eye. Just gonna cut off the tops of those, make it easier to cut on a board. Then cut it right down the center and begin to scoop out all of these seeds. And this is not, you don't want to think about those seeds too much. Like if you get queasy thinking about stuff like that, there's something really repulsive about that amount of seeds. But save them on the side because we're going to do something with them later. And then grab some parchment paper to put on a sheet pan. Make sure your scissors are the absolute dullest pair you have in the kitchen. And we're just going to pop these acorn squashes on the pan, cut side up. You could also do a cut side down, but we do need to add a little bit of seasonings to these, which will consist of extra virgin olive oil, probably about a teaspoon of maple syrup, real maple syrup in each of the openings here, bowls, and then the spice that we've made, our fall style spice in the fashion of fall. Then a little bit of salt, and you are going to rub all these babies down on the outside and the in so that maximum conductivity is spread all over the surface of the produce. And we're going to cook them at about 400 degrees for 45 minutes at first. It depends. Again, I really just don't even trust this oven anymore. No, not that I ever did, but I definitely don't trust it now. So 45 minutes, it took me about an hour. And while that's going on, you can rinse all of your pumpkin seeds, Jesus Christ, acorn squash seeds, gourd, and then spread them on a sheet pan and let them dry overnight. Yeah, rinsing those seeds off feels really weird, honestly, in your hands. It's very, very odd. Okay, while the squash is becoming tender, we can add our dry ingredients. So we're going to do flour, a little extra cinnamon, and pumpkin pie spice. God damn it. Fall style spice. Salt and baking powder. And just get ahead and whisk that all together, which we will be incorporating into our wet ingredients once the squash is fully cooked and nice and cool. We're not going to burn ourselves. We are going to burn ourselves. I'm going to burn myself for sure. And yeah, just go put that on the side. Break out your squash here. It smells very good. It is knife tender, as you see there, or fork tender, depending on what type of utensil you use. I did flip these once during the cooking process, but that is some absolutely spectacular color. And yeah, the whole house is filled with this lovely smell. It would be so much different if it was actually cold outside, and I think it would be much more cozy. But so I tried to take off the skins at this point because I'm impatient, and forget it, man. It was just sticking to the glove and like further burning my skin. So, and those are like actually very thick gloves. So let's put those on a cooling rack with something underneath so the air can get under and do some more prep. So yeah, we got 7 ounces of 60% dark chocolate here. And, I just chop it up into like shards, into very, not huge. You want to get kind of between small and medium, ultimately. But I find this a little bit more interesting than the chips. The chips obviously going to have more uniform shape to them and volume. This creates a more diverse dispersal of chocolate in the final product. What am I talking about? I mean, like, not that that's untrue, but at the same time, like, who gives a shit? I don't know. Maybe you want a more consistent brownie. Anyway, just chop the chocolate up. And now our acorn squash is there still steam coming off there? Maybe a little bit, yeah. But it's definitely much easier to work with. And we had to make our own puree because, because we're doing acorn squash kind of blondies here. And they don't, I'm sure they have acorn squash puree in a can somewhere. But there was a pumpkin puree shortage nationwide. There was a revolt at the Libby Pumpkin Pie Factory because of poor wages being paid to employees, and the company started to siphon the pension of their employees away to pay for lavish trips to Barbados. I just made that up. None of that's true. What you're going to do is what I just did here. Well, that's why I kind of went into some stupid stories, because do I need to explain this to you? Just put it in a blender. Just use your bigger blender or your food processor, and it should crush up pretty easy. And I just spread it on a sheet pan so it could cool even further. Just spread it out so it's getting a lot of surface area exposed to the air, and you'll be able to work with it quicker. Absolutely gorgeous color, obviously. Mixing time. Bring out your fucking buddy here, the mixer, and put in your sugars, your brown and your white sugar, your sulfate butter. Yeah, I didn't leave this on the counter all day. I just put it in the microwave. That's what I did, yeah. And doesn't matter. Applesauce, about 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup is what I did in here, I think. Just go ahead and eyeball it. Unsweetened applesauce, because there's plenty of sugar in there already. And then you're going to crack 1 full egg, and then if you need to do that insane move with the yolk, go ahead and take care of that. Put it in, start it on low, start breaking up all the ingredients, and then you're going to dash a little vanilla extract and jack up the speed and whip it together. I use the scraper attachment here because I wanted to see if it worked any better, and it really didn't. That's okay, KitchenAid. It's not a big deal. It's just what you're most known for, the mixers, I would say. I mean, kitchen appliances in general, but let's be honest here. So it's not gonna be the most pleasant looking mixture when you see it, but it all does come together at the end. So don't worry if it looks like a disgusting mess of curdled poison, stomach poison. That is not what it is. It is just ready to go. You're going to put the flour in, and once you put the flour in, just start hitting it with a spatula, and look at this. Okay, so there we go. Looks good now. Looks like batter now, doesn't it? Then your 7 ounces of dark chocolate, maybe like half at a time to fold in. A little light fold. I know they're like, don't over mix stuff. That's what they say with something like brownies or, even like bread. Don't over mix it. You know how fucking hard it is to over mix something like this? To create elasticity within the gluten structure at this point. You'd really have to go at it for a while. So, yeah, there you go. What was that? 20 seconds? And just be done with it. We got a 13x9 baking dish. Put the piece of parchment paper, or a piece of parchment paper. You could even use the one that we use for the squash, I guess. over the sides so you can easily pull out the pan of brownies once it is totally cooked. I keep calling it brownies, but it's not a brownie. It's just a blondie. Different, obviously, because there's absence of cocoa powder, I guess. And yeah, just go ahead and spread it the best you can in the pan. Make it as even as you can. It's pretty hard to get totally even. Well, I don't know how hard it is, but I just, at a certain point, I just mail it in. It's like, okay, I got it. Like, one side's gonna be a little bit shallower. So yeah, just spread it out. And I actually did put some cooking spray around the edges of this pan. I don't think that it would have stuck no matter what, but for safety purposes, so you don't wind up crying, yeah, we just go ahead and spray with some PAM, some vegetable oil spray, aerosolized oil. It can't be good to like breathe in, when you're spraying around your kitchen. If you use a shit ton, or if you work in a actual restaurant, and you're just using cooking spray and you're just inhaling that your whole life, it's gonna be really bad. But I don't know, I guess risk reward. I don't know what the reward is of working in a kitchen like that. Money and no responsibility. Okay, so they're done after we put them in the oven for I think it was 45 minutes, but I'm gonna include everything below, but 45 minutes, 375 maybe, depending on convection. Anyway, don't listen to me. I'm just gonna put it down there. And look, you have these beautiful. You can actually see pieces of the squash, a couple little pieces still retained in the brownie. Blondie. Not a fucking brownie. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Talk to you soon. Enjoy. Have a fun fall.